Mark Zuckerberg's trying to get the monopoly suit dropped. Now we have, moving to the next topic, who's going to buy TikTok, right? And pretty much everyone that's in the final running to buy TikTok is one of the guys that's courting Trump, right? And I think it's really interesting. What do you guys think? Who do you think is going to end up with TikTok right now?
I'll be real. It's probably between. I know Amazon is definitely. They just put out a some sort of proposal to purchase TikTok, which actually led me to pick up some more Amazon shares. Because to answer your point earlier, that is the main position that I've been adding on to during this big downturn. And as far as as far as TikTok goes, like you said, his inner circle. I mean, I don't want to call it the inner circle. It sounds a little bit of suspicious, but the main tech leaders that were there, they all have a piece of the puzzle. So I'm thinking really it's because between Microsoft and Amazon right now, because they both have they do have the money. I mean, I know for sure Microsoft they're sitting on almost $100 billion in cash, so they have a good possibility, and they have the data centers and they have the infrastructure to support something like that.
I personally think if the guy that owns OnlyFans ends up, because the OnlyFans founder just put in a bid to buy it, I personally think that's the end of the world if that happens. I think the TikTok psyche is already so bad and that so much OnlyFans content already exists. And I saw a really interesting article that the reason that he's so aggressive, and it's also crazy that this guy has access to hundreds of billions of dollars, essentially, of his own net worth. And he's not nearly as prolific or outspoken online. You can see very few interviews with him. He just is not a public dude. But the funnel for OnlyFans content right now largely flows through TikTok. So there's not a lot of
Twitch. That's actually, I would even go as far as saying
on Meta.
I would go as far as saying that Twitch is actually just a proxy of OnlyFans, because, and you could tell by this, because I'll tell you as a streamer, it only promotes two things on their main page. If you do gambling content, or girls who do like those, hot tub bikinis, or blah, 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 or spicy content. And it's literally just a funnel. Like you click on it, it's just a funnel. You're like, oh, this is my OnlyFans, blah, blah. And the problem is they're basically circumventing the whole age thing of OnlyFans, because who are the main people watching streamers? They're 13. We're talking about main 13 to 17-year-old young men. So they're getting the best kind of, the literal best kind of audience. And, it's simple today. It's man, you can go get a gift card. Boom. 1, 2, 3, you don't need a credit card. You don't need a debit card. You don't need any of this. Or some of them, they have clueless parents, parents who are, busy, like, especially in this economy, man, they're working, they don't have time to, and they just put it on their card. Like a lot of kids, and the parents don't even notice, because the thing with OnlyFans does, I've been reading it, it does like super discreet, like billing, which a lot of parents won't even see, you know what I mean? So it's super troubling,
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say quickly, it's really depressing, honestly. Like, I scroll through Instagram Reels, and it's impossible. I don't have a TikTok, but it's impossible. I don't have like Twitch accounts or anything. It's impossible to like literally scroll without seeing a funnel for OnlyFans. Like, I mean, it just really isn't. But like
you have to curate your thing, and I realize that you have to.
It's impossible
I'm explaining.
Yeah,
that's clearly the content they're pushing. So you have to block every time you block one of those accounts.
Yeah, you could put not interested and stuff like that.
I say not interested.
Yeah, I say the same.
Not interested. Trust me, I used to do not interested. Some videos don't even have the option of putting not interested.
Yeah, so just to wrap up that point, I mean, it's actually, in terms of who buys TikTok, honestly, the list, whether it's Microsoft, whether it's Amazon, whether it's Meta, or whether it's Elon, I'd be very happy with any of those, because
I'm not happy with any of them, to be honest, because I feel like TikTok, unfortunately or fortunately, is owned by a non-US entity, but so is Alibaba, so is Tencent, so are a bunch of really important companies. Are they using our data for nefarious purposes? I don't know. Are they using their ability to basically brainwash the American population to be dumber or promote their prerogatives? I think yes. You spend any amount of time on TikTok, it's not necessarily making you smarter or a good use of time, and it's highly addictive. But so is Instagram Reels. It's not drastically different.
It's the same at this point.
It's very similar. I think it's worse. I just think the Chinese are better at software than we are at the end of the day, and that's just why their platform's better. I think if Zuck was capable of making a platform that was as good or better than TikTok, he would have already. He's just, the teams are not as good or motivated to essentially create that application. Amazon has done a lot to try to create a TikTok competitor. So they've had various programs where you can basically promote video content on the Amazon platform, because you just go to Amazon right now and you know exactly what you want to buy. You're a chick, you want to buy a Dyson Airwrap machine, you buy it right away, you check out, you're on Amazon for 30 seconds, right? It's a super efficient shopping experience. The problem with Amazon is no one's opening it, when you don't already know exactly what you want to buy. So if they
It's
own
not.
TikTok,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
can funnel a lot of this like content curation journey, TikTok Shop, over to Amazon, but then they get to use all of their manipulative pricing practices. And the fees on Amazon now are approaching 50+%, as you're trying to sell on their platform. So you can make as much higher margin selling on Shopify or your own platform, but you don't have access to nearly as many customers. The trust isn't there. TikTok is investing a lot in building TikTok Shop, and there's brands that are selling, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars on TikTok Shop now. You can launch a brand new brand right out of your garage. And unlike Amazon, where yes, you can launch a brand, but you need to invest in Amazon's ad platform, and then you're hit with those 50% fees. So I think there needs to be a playing field for e-commerce platforms where it's not just Amazon owning absolutely everything. Because right now you can argue, oh, there's Walmart, there's Instacart, there's these other platforms, but they're not nearly providing as much revenue to brands as Amazon is today.